Hello and welcome back to Suspended Animation. I'm your host, Dennis Bithoulkas, and this is Dispatches from Elsewhere, Season 1, Episode 6, Everyone. Welcome, everybody. Before I unpack this episode, which was really good, let me take care of some business first. If you like what you see here, like, share, and subscribe. If you're still on the fence about subscribing, you're going to see at the very end of this video a video pop up here. And basically, what YouTube does takes the algorithms of all the stuff you've been watching and tries to match it as best as possible to one of the videos. My vast video library right up there for you. Up here is going to be Westworld, is what's going to pop up there. If you want to know when I'm going to be on live again next, you can hit the bell down below. It's a 50-50 chance of YouTube actually notifying you. Best thing to do is go to suspendedfanimation.com. Take a look at the schedule that's up there. I change it out every Monday, and I also mirror that on my Facebook page. And speaking of Facebook, there's a Facebook group page which you guys can post stuff on and chat amongst yourselves. I have a Twitter, I have an Instagram, I have a Patreon page, but no tier set up as of yet. And of course, all these links can be found at suspendedfanimation.com. All right. Excuse me. Spoiler alert, I am going to spoil the episode. If you have not seen the episode, go and watch it. Come on back. This will be a video. You can comment down below in the comment section. Thank you, Viking Bitch, for the paddle. So, wow. So we basically have the hunt for Clara is what's going on in this episode here. And there's a couple of notable lines here I actually wrote down because they made me kind of laugh, and they're pretty memorable, quite honestly. And the first thing is they're all arguing. They're sitting there in the restaurant. They're arguing on what to do next. Peter wants to find Clara. He says she's real. Simone wants to go and find how the artwork came about. Janice just wants to return to the game, really, is all she wants to do. And yeah, Fredwin just wants to follow the money, is what he wants to do, quite honestly. And yeah, Clara is kind of like the lost fifth member, quite honestly. And I love Simone says, if you want to find an artist, follow the art, is what she says. So yeah, man, it's they're all up in the air there. And of course Janice does not want to do anything with Fredwin because of what he did to her, with the texts and everything. And they end up splitting into different groups this time. Peter ends up going with Fredwin and Janice with Simone. So they get a little bit of a different dynamic this time around. We get to see Fredwin's house and his crazy murder board that he's got up there. The yarn board that he's got going on and all his investigations that he's been coming up with there. Janice and Simone go back to the bar where the Elsewhere Society, where it was in the back there, and of course the bartender tells them it's all been cleared out. But this old guy Boris notices Janice and remembers her, and says she used to be do all night poetry slams, and she was kind of a badass back in the day. And they're trying to get Boris to see if he recognized any of the murals, of course, and they end up, of course, having to bribe him with a little bit of alcohol, and he remembers one of the murals and knows where it's at, so they're going to go off there. Hey, Viking Bitch, how's it going? Yeah, and Peter and Fredwin, of course, go back to the beginning of everything, like where they were inducted, and everything is gone. Basically, this game is getting wrapped up. They've also, I forgot to mention, in the diner, they got a text that everything is going to be revealed, where Clara is going to be revealed that night. Basically, the game is coming to an end, or so they think, and so Fredwin is like, we need to get this thing done now. We need to find out what's happening now, and we need to go. Blue team, go. And Peter starts lamenting about Simone again, and basically Fredwin gives him some advice, and he goes, if she gives you your heart, don't take out a magic marker and write all over it. He says, Peter's like, that's very specific, quite honestly. So yeah, it's again, these lines that are coming up here. So Peter and Fredwin, of course, go back to where the phone was. The phone has been replaced with a regular phone, and as they're fighting over this phone, they end up getting a voice over the phone saying that they're being watched and to get back to the game and return to the game. Hey, Cheryl Lara. Yeah, and Josephine Tracy. Yes. Fredwin does, yeah, his thought processes, are fucking annoying. I'm just gonna say that right now. They really are. They really are, and he is on the, I say which one. So, yeah, Fredwin's a little bit much. So Simone and Janice go to the mural, and Simone is trying to figure out, that maybe there's something more to the mural. It looks like there's something that's, that's not finished, and she starts imagining her painter friend, of course. And her painter friend says, I was painting myself looking outside the window. What was I looking at? And Simone finally realizes that they're not looking at the entire picture from the right angle. So they go upstairs to an apartment and find a mural of a dragon and realize that Clara lived there at some point in time. And the woman that lived there, lives there now, her husband used to be the building manager. And so she has all the old leases, and they're going through this. And they bond over these leases. Yeet Yo Dude says, for some reason, it wasn't showing you as live on my dashboard. Oh, okay. That's kind of weird. And yeah, YouTube's been doing that lately. Just, I would say, Yeet Yo Dude, go with my time that I have on there. I'm usually within 15 minutes of that if I'm not, on time. I'm usually on time. So, am I still identifying with Fredwin at this point, Viking bitch? No. He is a lot more fucking anal retention. I mean, I don't come anywhere close to that. I am nowhere near that. I don't, actually delve down into that kind of specifics. Uh on certain things, yes, work wise that I need to, then yes, I do. But on this kind of stuff, no. I can actually sit back and let myself go for a little bit. Yeah, I feel a little bit of Simone as well. I feel a little bit of Peter. I'm not identifying with Janice at all at this point. So I identify with 3 out of the 4. Yeah, Peter is sort of like Simone's bumbling hero. He really is. He's very he's all impulse is really what he is. Peter is all impulse right now because he doesn't know what else to do. And we see that in this when him and Fredwin go to they realize that when they go back to the museum where the transit museum that I guess Janice and Fredwin had gone to. Fredwin goes into his memory palace, and he sees Clara, and he keeps telling himself that she's not real. She's not real. Don't follow her. Why? What are you doing? Where are you taking me? Kind of thing. And he had also told Peter to go get him a snack because his blood sugar was running kind of low. And he freaks out, and Peter kind of snaps him out of it and helps him a bit, and he ends up saying, yeah, the mysterious boy too. Thank you, Ace of Spades. He ends up seeing the little boy, the sad clown face boy that we saw outside of Janice's window, out of her house window, and he saw that kid at the transit museum. So, yeah, it's all kinds of weirdness now at this point. Is like, okay, the little boy's real. So what was he doing outside of Janice's window? And also the guy drinking chocolate milk. We saw him in this episode as well, uh, following Simone and Janice. Yeah, so there's all kinds of stuff that's been going on here in this episode, and I do love that. You know, they find out Simone and Janice find out that Clara's last name is Torres, from one of the leases, and of course they can run with that. And they of course go to the library to find out what happened to her because she disappeared. They know that she disappeared at one point in time because that's what everyone's playing the game for at this point. Fredwin, in the meantime, and Peter are going back to his office because they realize from this plastic orange that Peter gave Fredwin that it's all the same company, and that has built all this. They were a research company, and Bender and I actually wrote it down here. Bender Elmore. There we go. Bender Elmore, which is a research facility that owns Peter's old company. And so they have to go back to Peter's company and get in front of the back so that they can get in front of the computer. And Frodo, of course, cannot get into the computer like he said he could. And Peter starts seeing Simone, or excuse me, starts seeing Clara. And Clara says, "Why don't you listen to my playlist?" And she hands him her headphones. And Frodo's like, "What the hell are you doing?" And he goes, "Wait a minute, I know what it is." And he starts looking up all the songs that they've heard, the soundtrack of everything that they've heard on their journey on this game. And they finally set up a playlist because all Peter can see is playlists, other people's playlists. And he puts together her Clara's playlist, and they find the IP address and where it's going to. And of course, just as they find that IP address, security is coming over, and Fredwin bolts and leaves Peter by himself. And poor Peter, man. I mean, he slams into the wall, gets a bloody nose, escapes from the security guard, only to jump off the second floor roof to the concrete below, fucking himself up. And of course, Fredwin's down there going, "I found the building. I know where it's at." Oh man. And so as they're running away, and he knows the address where the IP address is from. My other line that he had here was, "That was impressive. I wanted to say that if you bleed out before we get there." And of course, Peter can't hear him because he knocked himself senseless essentially. And says, "What?" And of course, Fredon has to repeat himself louder because that's what he does. Yeah. Oh my god. There's just so much goodness that was in this episode, quite honestly. There's a lot of good stuff in here. Um so Simone and Janice go to the old psychiatric hospital. They actually were looking on the library microfiche and found out that Clara disappeared in September of 2000, and by a woman swaddled in black is what they said, and that she had been hospitalized once before, like at a psychiatric facility. And Janice knows which psychiatric facility that is, which is kind of interesting. So they end up going there, and it's no longer a psychiatric facility. It's now been retooled into a apartment complex with a gym and all this kind of stuff. And we find out that Janice knows this whole place because she had gone there for postpartum depression, essentially. After her son was born, uh, she was brought there by her husband Lev, and we see the little flashback of that. And Janice, yeah, you see a little bit more about Janice. We got a little bit more of Janice's life in this too, which was kind of, again, like I said, this is good writing when you could keep the story going, but still have character exposition, story exposition, stuff like that, and still keep everyone interested in it and have it be part of the story as well. That's actually good story writing right there. Yeah, I agree with you, Viking Mitch. I don't think she was the same after that. So Peter and Fredwin end up showing up because the IP address leads them to the penthouse in that building. And Simone, when she sees Peter showing up, we see that she's actually got a renewed interest in him. He looks a little bit different. He looks a little bit more rugged, as she says, like he's been through the shit, man. Which I thought was kind of funny. And Fredwin has hacked, of course, the elevator access code. So they go up into the elevator into the penthouse. Someone looks like they left in a hurry. There's a lamp knocked over, the water's on. It looks like someone was in the middle of making dinner. And they go up the stairs, and Janice just wants to leave. And everyone's like, "Shh, shut up. We're going upstairs." And they can hear somebody talking upstairs. They get to the door, and the door is locked. And Peter's like, "Fuck it," and kicks the door open. And we see it's on the screen. It's basically the same loop over and over again of saying that they have Clara, we need your help. She's gone missing, kind of thing. And it's over and over again. And we see a side by side on the screen of Octavio and Commander 14, which of course are one and the same person. We had been talking about this, all of us, since the very first episode, of whether or not Commander 14 was really Octavio, because it sounded like Richard E. Grant. A lot of us were picking that up. And what threw me off is I think they just had a different actor playing Commander 14 in the Janice episode. And that was what kind of threw a lot of us off on that one. But no, he's the same person. And it's an empty chair that had a rope around it. So it looks like someone had been tied up in the chair but escaped. Yeah. So there we go. So one of the things I wanted to mention too is in last week's episode in the comments section here on YouTube, someone I had actually answered back a question, and it brought this up that we know the Jejun Institute and the Elsewhere Society are working together. We know this because of Fredwin's episode and how everything was scripted, including when Commander 14 was going to come out and all this. And I started thinking about, well, what if Clara and Octavio are working together? They actually were working together to find like-minded people to awaken people. So the game is, you're always going to have in some certain games people that just play the game at face value, people that are on the peripheral that just kind of really just play the baseline game of it. And then there's others that really delve into the game, that go into the nitty gritty, do all the side missions, find all kinds of weird shit. They find all the bugs, things like that. That's what these four people are. They are the people that are going through all the different side missions. They are finding all kinds of weird shit, all the little treasures, hidden treasures, all that kind of stuff. That's who they are. These are the people that are going to carry on what Clara and Octavio have probably already started. And of course, they're getting older. Octavio's in his 60s, 70s. Clara, of course, is in her 40s, maybe late 30s, early 40s, something like that. So they're looking for other people to help them carry on, awakening the world, as she put it. And kind of oh God, sorry about that. I'm just like all excited about that. And that was what my theory was on that one. So, and I'm thinking I'm kind of right on this. I don't know for sure, but that's what I'm going with on that one. How does the company with the logo fit into it? That's a good question. Maybe they needed that company since they are from what I gather, is a research company. They needed to find the same like-minded people. So you're gathering all this data, as Fredwin has said. There's companies that are out there that are gathering data that, for what purpose he doesn't know. Maybe that's the purpose that they were gathering all this data for, and that's why they needed that company, was to find these like-minded people to get involved in this game, so that they could find the person or the people to help them awaken the rest of the world. Maybe that's what it's all about. We don't know for sure. I'm guessing on this one. I might be grasping a little too much. I might be. Who knows? Sorry. I need a little bit of water there. So what did everyone else think there? Ace of Spades says, "What about the trailer for the next episode? The group of people underground." Yeah, I'm thinking those are the people that are still playing the game, Ace of Spades, and so they're going to be, our quartet are going to be going back into the game itself, uh, from the side. Basically, they're coming in from the side mission on the base level. That's what I'm getting anyway. That's why they're wearing the blue, the blue robes and all that kind of stuff, um, and you notice there weren't as many people. As we keep going along in this game, I've noticed that there's less and less people. At the beginning, we had a huge crowd of people, finding your partners and all that kind of stuff. At the rally outside, there were less people than there were at um, the stock meeting. And then, of course, as we're moving on, you're getting less and less people that are sticking with the story, sticking with the game, if you will. Josephine Tracy says, "I have a theory." Josephine Tracy, I had to. Clara is heart, is what she is. But I like that. That's a good theory. Yeah. Um, yeah. Yeah, I could see that. Yeah. Good night, Viking bitch. Yes, I know it's late where you are. It's not like you need to go to work or anything. You're just, working from home like the rest of us. So, yeah. Um, no, it's a good theory, Josephine. That's definitely a good theory. Any theory right now is up for grabs, quite honestly, and I'm liking that it's really hard to find out what's happening with this. It's not an easy, oh, there it is. "Oh, that's what they're doing with this show. Oh, that's what this show is about." No, this show is engaging. It's got some heart. Actually, it's got a lot of heart to it, and it's a puzzle is really what it is. So, yes, show dude says, "I love the episode, especially the new team ups." Yeah, the new team ups were actually kind of interesting. You know, yeah, I didn't think they were gonna work out as well as they did, but they actually did. They worked out really, really well. So, some really good stuff. And yeah, I'm looking forward to next week's episode too, with the whole weird robe thing going on, and it looks like there's a cult meeting that's happening underground. So we'll find out what's happening. And also the game covering their tracks. And like Fredwin says, he goes, "This must have taken a lot of money to put this thing together, because you can't just, build these sets and rip them down as easily as, as fast as these guys have done. You can't put this all together on a shoestring budget. It had to have some money behind it." And yeah, I have to agree with him on that one. So that's why I'm saying Octavio and Clara are working together, and Octavio's using his money that he had from the company in order to help fund and find these people to help them. So, yeah, interesting stuff. And I'm looking forward to next week. And we have what, 2 episodes left, if I remember correctly. I forget if it's 8 or 10 episodes offhand. Let me take a quick peek because I forgot to do it. I knew I was going to, and ah, you always want to see me do this during the episode and take away bandwidth and possibly screw up all of that. Because normally sometimes I get a little glitchy here and there. All right. We have 10 episodes. All right. So we got 4 more episodes. Perfect. Yes. Nice. So we need to have Octavio. Who else are we going to have on all of this? We had everyone now at this point, since everyone is brought back together. It is gaining momentum, Josephine. I agree with you. Yes, it is. Yes, it does bring a lot of questions, Ace of Spades. Yeah. Yes, Yo Dude says, "I hope they have a finale plan. Unfortunately, I don't see this getting renewed." Yeah, I agree with you. Unfortunately, Yo Dude, this is very niche. This is very I think it's too weird for some people, quite honestly, and I can see that. It for me, I love this kind of weirdness. This is what I like. Um, this is in the same vein at FX and at Fox, and they wanted him to do more stuff, and that's why they gave him 3 seasons. They also were going to do. They're supposed to be doing another show with him as well, called Cat's Cradle, which is really bonkers. It's based on a Kurt Vonnegut story, and that's supposed to get like 2 seasons, from what I understand. Yeah. Josephine Tracy says most people need to be spoon fed. Yeah, they do. Yeah. Um, I agree with you, Ace of Spades. I love the weirdness too. That's what speaks to me about it. I like stuff that is different. I like stuff that I haven't seen before. I like stuff that isn't weird for weird's sake, which some stuff is. Kind of like Twin Peaks was a little weird for weird's sake. It in some spots, but yeah. Yeah, Yes Yo Dude says the weird thing about it all is the fans of the old Institute game aren't really interested in the show. They're all playing the new game. Oh, there's a new game that's out there now? I didn't know there's a new game. So I didn't know they had actually done anything else. I know that the artist who had put together the original game in San Francisco, there was 10,000 people that actually played that thing, and he got stores involved. He got the SFPD involved. He got a lot of people involved to help him do this game, and yeah, I don't know. I don't know if it could be done, to tell you the truth, without a lot of money behind it. And I don't know if he did it with money or if he just winged it. I really don't know. I kind of wanna go and see the documentary now, the institute that's based on this. That this is based on, I should say. Yeah. But yeah, I agree with you, yo, dude. I'm kinda surprised that audience hasn't shown up. But again, if they lived it, they probably are like, "Yeah, whatever. We don't wanna see a show about this. We already lived it," kinda thing. It does happen. Alright. So what else do I have going on this week? Tomorrow is going to be a special episode of Is It Worth My Time? It's gonna be Altered Carbon Resleeved from Netflix. Wednesday and Thursday, I'm off. Friday is going to be the season premiere of season 2 of Harley Quinn, the animated Harley Quinn on DC Universe. Saturday is Saturday Morning Blast Off. Wednesday is Westworld. And Monday wraps around blah, 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 blah. Monday wraps back around again with Dispatches from Elsewhere. Also, Tuesday of not next week's Tuesday is going to be Future Man. That's right, the season premiere of Future Man for their final season. And then, of course, Clone Wars has been moved over to Wednesdays. That's what's going on there. Yeah. All this is going to be up on the schedule so you guys can take a look at that. Suspendedfanimation.com. That's where all my social media links are. My schedule's up there as well. That's actually it's on the fence about subscribing. At the very end here, you're going to see a video pop up here just for you. Up here is going to be Westworld, is what's going to be up there. And you can hit the bell and not get any notifications from YouTube as normal, or you can just go and take a look at my schedule. All right. Thank you, everybody. Anybody have any other questions going on, or everyone pretty good now? Everyone's at home, right? Sheltering in place, washing their hands, ordering takeout or not ordering takeout, living off of whatever canned goods they have. Freaking out a little bit, that kind of stuff. Yeah. So, all right, everybody. Cabin fever. Yeah, I just got word today that we are now going to be. I was doing half on, half off, so we're in the office one day, then at home the next, and back and forth, and now we're going to be at home. Is what we're going to be at, even though we have people working in the lab still. So, and I understand, but hey, I just work there. That's all I can say. Next week's episode is called Cave of Keppels. Oh, of Kelpies. Oh, excuse me. There you go. That's quite a departure from previous. Yeah, it is. That's kind of weird. Yeah. All right, everybody. I'm going to let you guys go for the night. Thank you, everybody who joined me tonight in the chat. Thank you if you made it this far in the video. And I will see you again tomorrow for Is It Worth My Time? Altered Carbon Resleeved. Until then, have a good night and don't let the door hit your ass. Everybody, I'll see you tomorrow. Have a good night. Stay safe and later.